A hugely exciting day for Bristol City tomorrow, as 8,900 Bristol City fans will be making the trip to East London, for which I will be one of them, making the trip over to the London Stadium, as well as Bristol City face Premier League opposition in West Ham in what will be a very tough game, but also, as I said, hugely exciting and a huge opportunity for Bristol City to pull off something. There is obviously no doubt over the quality that West Ham possess and the quality littered throughout David Moyes' squad. But hopefully Bristol City are up for this game and can take some motivation and can really take the game to West Ham and make it as difficult as possible for the Hammers and make sure we don't give them an easy ride. And ultimately, that's the only real thing we can ask for with the inferior quality on the deck. Liam Manning would have hoped for a little bit more of momentum going into this game. The last two games, ultimately for Bristol City, have been quite disappointing. A 1-0 defeat at home to West Ham's East London rivals Millwall, and also a 0-0 draw away at St Andrews in the form of Birmingham. Two games where Bristol City just did not get going and did not do anything in the final third. So if we are to get something or take West Ham to a replay or pose a threat going forward, Bristol City are going to have to be a lot better going forward than they were in the last two games. On the other hand, the few games before that Birmingham game, Sunderland and Watford in particular, Bristol were clinical. They created a lot of chances and dominated the game, and that's against two very good sides. So if West Ham are going to come out and play, and they will, because we are, as I said, inferior quality and inferior opposition to the Hammers, Bristol City may have a few spots, and with the patterns we've shown so far this season, where we've beaten teams who have had more possession than us or have had kind of equal possession to us, Bristol City might actually, you never know, might pose a threat, go on the counter-attack with the pace we have. Unfortunately for City, Mark Sykes will not be available, and he's been a bit of a talisman figure for Bristol City, a bit consistent, a bit more consistent than the rest of the players we've had so far, in the attacking third especially. So that'll be a miss, and he'll be out for a couple of more weeks after this game at West Ham, which is a concern, because we don't really know if we have the adequate quality. We probably have the numbers to replace Mark Sykes, but the adequate quality, that is a concern. West Ham themselves have been in brilliant form under David Moyes. They sit in the top six and in a European spot in the Premier League, 6 points off Arsenal in fourth. They got a draw last time out against Brighton and kind of expected and went out how you'd expect it to. Brighton having a lot of the ball, West Ham kind of sitting in, got the point in the end. But the last two victories before that, probably the most impressive. Clean sheets against both Man United and Arsenal. Man United at home, Arsenal at the Emirates. 2-0 wins in both, and never really looked like they were going to be in too much trouble defensively in both games. 3 clean sheets in a row, 4 clean sheets in a row in the league. Game before that, weirdly, a 5-0 defeat at Fulham. So maybe there's that inconsistency within them, but generally they look a very good side. And under David Moyes, they're very street smart, and Bristol City, yeah, they're going to have it difficult. We know about West Ham's European successes last season. They won the Europa Conference League in Prague in the 90th minute through Jared Bowen against Fiorentina. That, yet again, just a cap in David Moyes' feather and the brilliant job he's done at West Ham. But for David Moyes, there's going to be an emotional attachment to this game, in particular because he was an ex-Bristol City player back in the day, during the 80s. So there's going to be hopefully a good reception for David Moyes as well. I just want to mention a lot of this West Ham squad actually ex-Championship. Danny Ings, Jared Bowen, Saeed Benrahma. A lot of these players, James Ward-Prowse played in the Championship this season, in fact. So a lot of these players ex-Championship. So yeah, just an idea of what actually some of our players maybe could go on and do, even if it's not in a Bristol City shirt. There is that potential to play for European champions. This is how I expect Bristol City to line up at 1 p.m. tomorrow. I'll go with Max in goal, back four of George Tanner, Zach Viner, Rob Dickey, Cam Pring. Just no other options at the moment. Ross McCrory may be back for the game at Preston as we head back into the Championship. I'd go Joe Williams, Taylor Garden, Hickman, Jason Knight in midfield. I think that is our strongest midfield at the moment. Matty James and Joe Williams in the same midfield just does not work, as shown against Millwall. It's just way too slow and too defensive, ultimately. I'd go Sam Bell off the right, and my reasoning behind that, to replace Mark Sykes, is because Sam Bell actually has looked pretty good and pretty lively and putting balls into the box. Maybe not with adequate quality, but if we can maybe catch West Ham on the break with his pace and maybe his ability to, get in behind defences off the right. Maybe he doesn't have that pressure to cut inside on it, onto his right foot, onto a stronger right foot, and then take shots on. I'd go with Sam Bell off the right. Mehmeti off the left, obviously. Again, not really going with Harry Cornick at this point. And I'd go with Tommy Conway up top. Now, Tommy Conway or Naki Wells, whoever's going to be up top, is going to have a very important game because they're not going to be feeding off much. So they're going to be feeding off less scraps than they were against Millwall and Birmingham, which is unthinkable, really. But I'd go with Tommy Conway because he might have a bit more of a physical presence, and maybe Naki Wells could come on, and maybe if we are in need of a goal or something like that, he could come on and make a difference and make runs in behind two different strikers. But for the game, I'd go with Tommy Conway. I suppose the big thing here is the score prediction, and it would be very silly of me to come here as a Bristol City fan to say that we'll be a side that's just won a European Cup and sitting in the top six with some very good players in their squad at the moment. Lucas Paqueta, James Ward-Prowse, Jared Bowen, need I go on, Edson Alvarez. It's a very, very good squad, and they're sitting in the top six for a reason. They've beaten Arsenal and West Ham for a reason. So it'd be very silly for me to come on and be very confident about the fact that I think we're going to beat them. On the other hand, I do think we can possibly ruffle a few feathers, maybe cause them a few problems on the break. They're not the quickest team. There's two centre-backs, whoever it is, Bono, Mavropanos, Cresswell at left-back if he is going to start. Not the quickest, Kufal as well at the right. Not the quickest, so maybe we could cause a few problems to Sam Bell, as I mentioned, Alex Mehmeti maybe. But it's going to be difficult. It's going to be very difficult, and we know that. And West Ham, generally even in the Premier League, against sides down near the bottom, they normally beat them quite convincingly and quite comfortably as well. For that reason, I'll go for City to score, because I think that'd be quite nice, wouldn't it? 8,900 fans going absolutely mental for a goal. I'll go 3-1 to West Ham. Unfortunately, I don't think City at the moment qualified, well equipped enough, and probably not further along the Le Mans development as I'd like to be, to be confident to beat a side like West Ham and give them a really, really good game. That's why I'm going for West Ham 3, Bristol City 1. Let me know your score predictions down in the comment section down below. So, if you're going to West Ham, I will see you there in East London. And yeah, safe travels. And I think it's 31 coaches going to West Ham, which is just absolutely mental. I think Jerry said it was about 1,000 people on the coaches itself, which is absolutely brilliant and absolutely mental. And it's going to be an early start for me as well. So, matchday vlog will be out. Not off the game because I'll be back at like 10. But you get the point. It will be out as soon as I can. Thank you very much for watching this match preview. If you have enjoyed it, hit like. If you haven't already, subscribe to the Andy Harris Football Channel for more Bristol City content in the future. Again, if you're going to West Ham, I will see you there, and I'll catch you all later. Cheers.